Good morning, students. Welcome to the class again. Now we will discuss dienone phenol rearrangement. What is dienone phenol rearrangement? This is two double bonds di ketone one. So it is what is called dienone. When it is treated under acidic conditions, it will be converted to phenol either with alkyl or hydrogen migration. So what we will have? We will have either 1 to alkyl migration or 1 to hydride migration, so that it will be converted to phenol. This is dienone, this is phenol. Now how it will work? When we use acid, obviously carbonyl oxygen is the more electronegative atom, so it will undergo protonation. When it is undergoing protonation, the carbon oxygen double bond can be polarized towards oxygen so that oxygen gets neutralized. Then this double bond, because it is in conjugation, it can be polarized like this. So what we have is, this is the previous double bond and we have H, and the new double bond is polarized like this. We have a carbocation which is generated on this carbon, and we have two alkyl groups. Now we can expect a 1,2 alkyl shift or alkyl rearrangement. It is a secondary carbocation at the same time allylic. When it undergoes a 1,2 alkyl shift, it generates OH, new double bond. We have alkyl group here and we have a carbocation here. See, this carbocation is a tertiary and allylic. So compared to this secondary and allylic, this tertiary and allylic carbocation is more stable. It is more stable. Okay. Now, a loss of hydrogen from this carbon, loss of hydrogen H plus from this carbon generates the third double bond, so that it becomes phenol. So this is what is called dienone phenol rearrangement. Obviously they will occur via either 1 to alkyl shift or 1 to hydride shift. For dienone phenol rearrangement, we need to discuss the migratory ability separately. In case of dienone phenol rearrangements, hydride migration is the first preference. Then phenyl migration, then ethyl migration, methyl migration, and finally OH migration. There is no relationship between migratory abilities in pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement and dienone phenol rearrangement. It is completely different. So in case of dienone phenol rearrangements, the migratory abilities are in this order: hydride rearrangement, followed by phenyl rearrangement, then ethyl, methyl, and the least priority is hydroxyl rearrangement. I don't give the products for these examples. You try to write the products, okay? So you always remember the migratory abilities. Hydride migration is the first preference, then phenyl migration, then ethyl, then methyl, and finally OH group migration is the least priority. I'll give you one more example. So in this case, we don't have alkyl group, so hydride migration will occur. Here we have methyl group, of course, another hydrogen is there. So again here, hydride transfer takes place because it is the first preference. And we have methyl and ethyl. Among methyl and ethyl, ethyl migration is the first preference. Then when you want to write the product, just write phenol. Here methyl, migratory group is the ethyl. So it's a very simple problem. Among methyl and phenyl, phenyl is the first priority. So phenyl migration occurs here. Among methyl and OH, methyl is the first priority. So methyl migration will occur here. Here both are alkyl groups. So alkyl group is part of cyclic ring. So when alkyl group migration takes place, we will get ring expansion. Okay, we will get ring expansion. Okay. Now I'll tell you the last example. When this molecule is treated under concentrated H2SO4 conditions, it is giving a product like this. Whereas the same molecule, when it is treated under dilute sulfuric acid conditions, it is giving this product. Now, what is the difference between concentrated H2SO4 and dilute H2SO4 conditions? First, we will see when protonation occurs on this carbonyl, then double bond migration occurs from this side. We are generating a carbocation here. So I'll write that. So we are migrating this double bond. We are generating a carbocation here. Now we need to have an alkyl migration, but here what will happen is this carbon carbonyl bond will break down, that generates the aromatic ring. So here alkyl migration is not the case. Here this carbon carbonyl bond will break down. So it generates the aromatic carbon, aromatic ring. Now the product is OH methyl group, carbon, two alkyl groups, and then when it is breaking, why it is breaking? It is this bond breaking is facilitated by the lone pair of electrons on oxygen. The lone pair of electrons on oxygen will be polarized so that it generates a carbon oxygen triple bond. Therefore this bond can easily break. Okay, so the bond breaking is facilitated by the presence of lone pair of electrons on oxygen. Then it generates an acyl group. Please mute yourself. This generates an acyl group. Right. Under concentrated acid conditions, what will happen? There is no water molecule. So under concentrated acid conditions, it will undergo an acylation reaction. Like Friedel-Crafts acylation, it will undergo acylation ortho to OH. So that is why we are getting this product. But under dilute acid conditions, what will happen? Dilute acid, what is dilute acid? Acid which is dissolved in water. So when we say it is dilute acid, we can say there is a plenty of water compared to acid. So because of the availability of more amount of water, water will immediately attack on this acyl ion, okay, this carbonyl, so that it generates carboxylic acid. Okay, because water is not available here, this acylium ion is undergoing Friedel-Crafts acylation type reaction so that it generates this product. But in the case of dilute acid conditions, due to the availability of more amount of water, this carbonyl is converted to carboxylic acid. Now we will discuss benzyl benzylic acid rearrangement. What is benzyl benzylic acid rearrangement? 1,2 diketones are generally called as benzyl. 1,2 diketones are generally called as benzyl. Benzyl, when it is treated under basic conditions, it is converted to alpha hydroxy carboxylic acid, alpha hydroxy carboxylic acid. With these substituents, it is called benzylic acid. So the conversion of benzyl to benzylic acid under basic conditions is called benzyl benzylic acid rearrangement. So the conversion of 1,2 diketones to alpha hydroxy carboxylic acids under basic conditions is called benzyl benzylic acid rearrangement. Here also it is a 1,2 alkyl migration. Okay, it is a 1,2 alkyl shift. Now we will see how this conversion will occur. Under basic conditions, say for example, if we have an hydroxy group will attack on carbonyl carbon. So when it is attacking on carbonyl carbon, we have O minus, right? Then this oxygen negative charge may again polarize back to generate the carbon oxygen double bond. In that case, we need to break one of these bonds. Of course, it is the alkyl group, not OH group. Okay, so here we will have 1,2 alkyl shift, 1,2 phenyl shift, phenyl migration. So because of 1,2 phenyl migration, what we are having, negative charge is there, and we have OH. This is alkoxide ion and it is carboxylic acid. As we know, carboxylic acids are strong acids. That means they can immediately release proton. So that is why we need to rearrange this. Okay, it is not the stable conformation. What will happen? Immediately carboxylic acid will lose its proton, so it becomes O minus, and alkoxide ion will get the proton. Okay, so that is why we must write like this. Then finally at the end of the reaction, what we will do, we will add some dilute acid or water so that the carboxylate ion becomes carboxylic acid. So this is what is called benzylic acid rearrangement. Please do remember the position of hydrogen here. The hydrogen which is from base is finally ending at the OH. Okay, right. When we do the same reaction with this compound, it is called furyl. It is called furyl. What is the product? Furylic acid. Similarly, when we have an intramolecular diketone that in the form of a cyclic system, we will observe a ring contraction. We will observe a ring contraction. We can have a small variation like this when we use deuterated sodium hydroxide instead of simple sodium hydroxide. What is the product? That means where should be this deuterium? As I said, this H will be on the OH group. So here also this deuterium, okay, this deuterium will be here. But if we add deuterated water at the end of the reaction, that deuterium will be here. Okay, so please take these two differences. We can have variety of examples. We can also do the same reaction with two aldehydes. It is called glyoxal. So when we do this reaction with the glyoxal, what we are getting is this product. When we have a ketone and an aldehyde, then where do this OH minus will attack first? Whether it attacks on ketone or whether it attacks on aldehyde. As you know, among the reactivity of aldehyde and ketones, ketones are more reactive. Aldehydes are more reactive. So that is why OH minus will attack here. So the product here is we have ketone and aldehyde here. Aldehyde is more reactive, so that is why OH minus will attack on aldehyde. So it becomes carboxylic acid and ketone will be reduced because of the 1,2 hydride shift here. And for the final example of benzylic acid rearrangement, look at this. We have leaving groups next to the carbonyl. Okay, so that is why here the product is ring contraction and epoxide. So generally what we will get alpha hydroxy carboxylic acid with ring contraction. But because of the availability of good leaving group, this O minus will immediately undergo epoxidation. This ring will immediately undergo epoxidation because chlorides are good leaving groups. So O minus will attack on carbon so that Cl will be leaving. So we are getting an epoxide in this case.